Minasan, konnichiwa. Nico here from the Road to Japan podcast and Working Title on YouTube. Forgive the audio, I guess, just in advance if this ends up sounding like crap. I'm using a lav mic that I actually forgot that I had, so hopefully the audio will sound okay. If it ends up sounding like garbage, then I'll go back to using my shotgun mic. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about microphones and whatnot. I am here to talk about this, if you can see it. It's the second treatment for my tattoos that has officially begun today. So there's not a terrible amount to report on it necessarily, except for me at least. The thing I noticed, and this was something I was curious about going into the second treatment for the same tattoos, because yes, this is technically my third treatment, but this is the second one that's happening on the same area. So all the tattoos have had one treatment now, and now we are beginning the second. And one thing I was curious going into this was to see if the pain would be maybe less intense. The reason I say that is because I am curious if as the ink, is getting destroyed and purged from my body, if the pain would be less intense because there's fewer ink particles to have to dissipate. And I'd say at least for the second treatment, it felt relatively the same. Definitely that kind of moderate intensity of pain. I got back maybe 20 minutes ago from the clinic. And so my wrists are still kind of in that stage where they feel like they're on fire on the affected areas. But at least my experience thus far has told me that will, it's already starting to fade as far as that pain, but it's still, it's still that kind of burning sensation. And I don't go to work for another 2 hours or so. So, the pain, that sensation will be gone by the time I go to work. And then aside from that, there's good news in that when the technician was looking at the tattoos before she went about treating them, she said that they're making really good progress. Basically, she said that the stage of fading that the tattoos are in right now are remarkable in comparison to others that she has seen, because oftentimes they would be maybe on their third, possibly even fourth treatment by the time they look like how mine have looked. And in my head I laughably said, like, oh, that's just my sheer willpower. I'm just literally sitting here just being like, get out of my body, and just trying to somehow pretend that I'm forcing it out by will. That's probably obviously not the case, but I don't know, maybe sheer willpower can make the body do strange things like that. But I'd more attribute it to it likely being time, in that these tattoos are 10 years old. Granted, they have been touched up, but I think the last touch-up was still 8, maybe even 9 years ago. And I haven't had touch-ups since then. So, time itself has already started the fading process for me. And that's probably helped as far as, maybe perhaps advancing the stages of fading with these treatments. Aside from that, there's not really much else to mention. The dragons, I know it's kind of hard to see, but they're coming along. And obviously I can't see the ones on my back and neck, but I can only assume and hope that they're making the same kind of progress. These ones are only a month in so far with their first treatment, and so I would, you know, I'm not seeing a terrible amount of progress yet, but with these ones on my wrist, I didn't really start to truly notice the progress until the second month has started after the treatment. So I anticipate in the next 3 to 4 weeks that the dragons are going to really start to show progress on the fading. I did have a little bit of slightly bad timing on my part, but I mean, honestly, the timing is not going to be fantastic any way you look at it, because of the fact that I'm getting a treatment on one set of tattoos every month. So it's literally just every 4 weeks I'm going in and getting a treatment somewhere on my body. But this particular upcoming treatment the next one that I will get, unfortunately falls on the same week that I'm graduating from MATC. And so all that meant, I mean, I graduate that Friday, which literally is the day that I normally schedule my tattoo treatments. It's literally 4 weeks from now and falls right on graduation day. So I thought about it for a moment. I thought, well, maybe I could get the treatment that morning, since I do have the day off from work for the purpose of obviously attending graduation. But then I thought about it, and when I got the dragons in the neck back tattoos treated, I wasn't bothering with bandages or anything after like the first day. So what I decided to do instead is I just put it back to that Wednesday before graduation. So I will go to the clinic pretty much right after I get out of class that day, and then get the treatment done, and then, you know, wear the bandages for like 12 or 20. I don't even think I made it like 12 hours with this first treatment. I mean, yeah, I took a bold move, but honestly, these ones didn't seem to be, I don't know, maybe it's just the positioning, maybe it's the fact that these ones on my wrists, you know, there's less tissue there, so they are more susceptible to pain and whatnot. I don't know. But either way, I figure I can get the treatment on that Wednesday, do the bandage thing for 12 or 24 hours, and then at least not have to wear bandages for graduation itself. Because I mean, for one of the reasons I didn't bother with bandages is because trying to put a bandage on your neck and shoulder was a royal pain in the ass, to be honest. Like the day I got these treated, I actually ended up wrapping a piece of tape around my neck just to hold this particular bandage in place. And I mean, obviously I made sure there was some slack so it wasn't strangling me or anything, but you know, it still was a little tight on the neck, and I had kind of a red mark for a couple days once I took it off. So obviously I'll be keeping that in mind because I don't want to walk across the stage with a big ass red mark on my neck as I'm being handed my diploma. But you know, I mean, I'll be obviously a little tender, you know, if I have friends there to congratulate me or whatever. Hopefully they'll be considerate and just, you know, not like slap me on the back or anything like that. But I mean, in the end, it's the same thing I've been saying, is that this is what needs to get done and this is what's going to get done in order for me to achieve my goals. I mean, I basically sound like a broken record at this point, but what's interesting is that it seems that people are kind of starting to take me more seriously now because of the fact that I'm getting the tattoos removed. I guess that was the step that people needed to see, like, oh wow, this guy is serious about going to Japan or becoming a teacher or whatever. Because I guess, I don't know, maybe they just looked at me on the outside and thought, well, he's got tattoos, so no matter what schooling he does, he's boned out of getting any type of really great career. But now that they're seeing that I'm taking that step, you know, getting rid of the tattoos, because I'm not an idiot, and I realized that tattoos, you know, as I've again said before, you know, they're still sadly frowned upon with the way society views them, but that's that. So anyway, I'll talk about that more on the next episode, which I'm planning on recording tomorrow. I just saw that my battery's about to run out, so I'm gonna call it good. So anyway, I'll probably be back in a couple weeks with an update on the tattoos. But that's gonna do it for now. Until next time, minasan, ganbatte.